So we have to date signed agreements with over 30 launch partners. These are companies that all need to deploy IoT solutions in the 85% of the world's surface where there's no wireless networks, and as such, they can't deploy their IoT solutions today. They've signed up with Wyld to be launch partners to firstly pilot the solution, and then we expect them to deploy the solution when the service is commercially launched. The companies are from various verticals, including agriculture, utilities, oil and gas, supply chain, and maritime. We recently signed in Q4 and so far this year agreements with American Towers, Axiata, Navigator, Agrology, and we also formed a consortium with Senet, Eutelsat, and TrakAssure. Yes, this is a really important consortium we've brought together. Eutelsat is our satellite partner, and they're the second largest satellite operator in the world by revenue with over €1 billion. Senet is the largest terrestrial LoRa IoT operator in the US with service available in 80 countries around the world. The first use case we're addressing is the supply chain market, and that's tracking assets such as containers. And for that reason, we brought TrakAssure into the consortium. They provide the asset tracking IoT sensors, and we at Wyld provide the satellite connectivity solution. The supply chain market is set to grow from about $10 billion today to about $33 billion by 2025. And as a consortium, we can provide customers in the supply chain market with a solution to track their assets anywhere in the world, a solution that no one else can provide today. But this is just the first use case the consortium will offer, and we'll be introducing additional use cases as we move forward. So yes, we've been signing companies who are mainly end users of our service, such as Bayer and Chevron, as well as system integrators such as Fujitsu. Out of interest, those three companies have a market cap of approximately $350 billion. We have, as you say, expanded into a new segment, which is signing agreements with terrestrial IoT operators such as Senet and American Towers. Now, they can provide an IoT service to the 15% of the world's surface. And by partnering with Wyld, they can now offer their customers 100% global coverage. We're going to continue to sign up end users and system integrators, and we're going to continue to sign more terrestrial IoT operators. So yes, the use cases are varied, and I'll give you a couple of examples. In agriculture, IoT sensors are used to collect data, for example, data on soil moisture and pesticide usage within fields. We collect the data using satellites, and that data allows growers and farmers to make informed decisions and take action to increase the yield of their crops and reduce water wastage, as an example. This data can actually improve the yield of crops by 30% and also reduce water wastage by up to 40%. Now, this is fundamentally important as the world's population grows by another 2 billion people in the next 30 years, and today we actually struggle to feed the world. And on water usage, 30% of global wasted water comes from agriculture. So in reducing that wastage, it's pretty important, not just for agriculture, but also for the environment. And that's just a couple of examples in the agricultural sector. Another example use case is in the energy sector, where IoT devices are used to measure corrosion in water, oil, and gas pipes. The data we collect there allows these companies to massively improve their operational efficiency and reduce costs and potential environmental disasters by being able to predict faults and fix infrastructure before it becomes a problem. Now, there's hundreds of use cases out there, ranging from use cases in agriculture, energy, utilities, oil and gas, maritime, and supply chain. We're planning for the commercial launch of the complete service in the second half of this year. So beforehand, we're going through pilot programs with our launch partners. And before we launch the commercial service, we'll be making Wyld Connect, our hardware device, available for purchase, as obviously we want to have these devices deployed around the world before the service is available. Yes, of course. We believe we had a good Q4. Our revenues were up over 200% on a like-for-like basis versus Q4 last year. That said, the commercialization of our solution will be this year, in which we plan to see more impactful revenues coming through. By the end of this year, we will have a fully commercial satellite IoT service. We'll be growing both the development and sales organization, and we'll have onboarded multiple paying customers globally and also in multiple sectors.